how someone who's got their eye on a particular job, a particular role, can help potential employers see that they are the only person who's right for that job or the best person for that job. What should you be thinking about and doing early on to establish that idea?
So interesting. I have this conversation almost every day because what most people don't realize when you're seeking a senior strategic level position, your job search is totally different. You're not looking for a transactional job anymore, right? About 96% of jobs in an organization are transactional, implementing the strategy of the senior team. So when you're looking for a job on the senior team, your job search then is going to be very different and what you put forward and your skill sets to if you're looking at a transactional job. So many folks that I meet with when they start a job search here, and this happens to me daily, and I look at a resume and what do I see? I see an updated resume that they've been doing for 10, 20, 30 years. They take their college grad resume, write down what you know how to do, and you update that for the next how many years. And now I say, so the resume that got you 80K 20 years ago, and now you're looking for 3, 4, 500K, is it going to work? No. You need a different kind of approach and a different kind of resume. And it really comes down to now not what you know how to do, because you're going to be competing against people who also know how to do that. But you got to start thinking about what is your unique value proposition? What is your brand? What do you actually make happen in companies? I just met with a fabulous CEO this morning, and the first thing I saw on his resume was that he knew how to do a P&L. That's not where you're at, folks. They know you know how to run a P&L. So before you start your job search, and if you're looking for a senior strategic level position, it's going to come down to what is your value? What is your brand? What's going to separate you out from everybody else? And what have you actually been doing? And most members have no idea. And the reason they have no idea is, and I gather this probably applies to most of you, you've been recruited, you've been networked. Maybe you got your last few positions through somebody you know or somebody recommended you, and you never had to explain what your unique value proposition was. Except now you need to explain it. And that really is the germ. And once you understand that, not only can you separate yourself out from the competition, and that your collateral has to represent what your unique value proposition is, and you know how to talk the talk, there are times then you could even have positions created for you. Because if you're in the right conversations and you're able to articulate what you make happen in an organization and that you got the goods and you understand the problems and the challenges in that organization, we see many times you can even create a position for yourself in the right conversation. So I guess what I'm saying, Tony, is before you embark on this path, number one, understand that your job search is totally different now. It's not about what you have done in the past. A resume that's a job description is not special in the C-suite. Understand your unique value proposition. What are you known for? And then from there, create a sales and marketing plan and a strategy on how to go about putting that out to the world, separating yourself from the competition so you could get that job.
Mhm. You used a couple of terms that I want to stay with for a while, Stacy, relative to the value story, the value proposition. Words like how do you make things happen and what are you known for example. Do you find that a lot of executives naturally know what they're known for or how they make things happen? Because the fallback is usually, well, it's in my resume that I'm the head of marketing, or I'm a seasoned result-oriented leader, What are
Okay,
we
so when
really
I
doing?
see that, I
Yeah,
see that on 500 resumes. I've been a recruiter for 30 years too. So when your resume is written like a job description, don't you realize you look like every other person who's had your job?
yeah.
So that's when I determined that that's that college grad resume that's been updated, where it's a dump of what you've done. And understanding your value. In fact, Well, a member called me recently after we worked with her on her value proposition, and this is emblematic of everybody. She called me and she said, I never even knew I did that. I never even talked about that in an interview because we just go out and we're successful and we do what we do. So it's not a matter of listing, and everybody take a look at your resume. Is it the same one that you had when you had an 80K job or a 100K job? If it is, and you're looking to be in a strategic level job, it's not going to work for you. And realize when somebody's looking at your resume, I don't care if it's somebody at Korn Ferry, I don't care if it's a recruiter, I don't care if it's a VP talent acquisition. We're looking at hundreds of resumes at a time. So if you just have down everything you've ever done in a job description, and you're the 60th resume in my pile and you look like everybody else, that's not what I'm looking for. There's also a little piece I'll add, Tony, that I talk about a little bit. Perception has a lot to do with this. So I always say if your resume looks just like the 80K executive assistant I just hired, I'm not thinking of you in the C-suite. So it's the way you're putting yourself forward. And it really is not a product resume, but a value centric resume. The reader of your resume or your LinkedIn profile or hearing you articulate it has to be what is the mission the stakeholders are paying you for? Why am I paying you a lot of money? What do you make happen in companies? Because you can't look like just everybody else out there. If I'm looking at a CMO resume and you look like everybody else with different numbers on it, I'm not interested.